You're just gonna watch. Stop.
Shh. Hello. We're just gonna give it another minute or two because people are still logging in. And then we'll get started in a minute or two. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Becky Turnbull. I am the team administrator and I'm also a coach. I'm the one that you've probably been emailing with if you've already registered. So you probably already have talked to me at least once.
My parents did all of that, and I can't see anybody's face.
Okay, so this is just a listening meeting. So if anybody has questions, we're gonna go ahead and you can go ahead and type those in to the chat, but we're gonna have everybody else stay muted just for right now.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is introduce the board. Keith Turnbull is our president. Eric Eisentrout is our treasurer. As I mentioned, I'm the admin. And Brooke Turney is our volunteer coordinator. And finally, Laura Walker is our secretary. You might not know our faces right away, but at meets and at other important events, we will be wearing orange t-shirts so that will stick out like a sore thumb and you'll be able to find us. The coaches will also be wearing those orange t-shirts. It should go without saying, but every year I try to remind everyone to try to be kind to the board members because they're doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. They're paying the same fees as you, and they're doing a lot of extra work. So you're more than welcome to come to us with questions or concerns. But if you could please keep it in mind that you're dealing with volunteers for the most part, we'd appreciate it. The coaches are paid. I, as the admin, am paid, but we are not paid very much at all. So if you could also keep that in mind when you're dealing with these people, we'd very much appreciate it. Our head coach is Will Turnbull. He's been coaching for us for since 2017. He's also the head coach of Cuyahoga Falls High School and the CFYN Tiger Sharks. He's also my son, so I know quite a bit about his swimming career. He was an excellent swimmer in his day. He was a record holder at CFYN Tiger Sharks and the high school. He was a state qualifier in high school. He was a national qualifier in the club team Tiger Sharks, and he was away for many, many years. He also swam 4 years of varsity at the University of Mount Union. So we're very lucky to have a very knowledgeable coach who's also excited and has roots in the community. He's very excited to coach this team. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Will so he can introduce the lead coaches.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm excited for this season. This team has a special place in my heart, just in how it's grown over time. And now we're, really such a great program. And now the goal is just to sustain that and continue to improve each year. So we're going to continue to do that and strive for greatness. And a lot of that comes down to our lead coaches as well. So, this year, our lead coaches are very similar to last year. Amelia Valdez is going to be taking over our full 8 and under division. Keith Turnbull is going to be continuing with the 9-10s, and Matt Wright's going to be continuing with the 11 and 12s. I will be continuing with the 13 and overs. So really the idea behind the lead coaches is just to make sure that we have that extra layer of support for the coaches and for you guys as parents as well. Basically the lead coach's responsibilities include primarily doing the lineups, at least drafting them for me, because they're going to know those kids a lot better. When we have a team that is, 150 plus kids, I certainly can't know every single swimmer right off the bat and their swimming abilities. My goal is always to have a good understanding of all of that by the end of the season, but those first few meets, having those lead coaches that can really zone in and focus on one age group is really beneficial for our program as a whole, and they do a great job. So we're excited to have them. We're excited to have a very similar coaching staff to what we had last year, with the addition of a few new younger coaches that are excited to get started and with their coaching journeys as well. So very excited for the season. And then, yes, again, Becky, my mom, is the admin in charge of pretty much everything else. So odds are, if you're emailing about something with the Wave Swim team, you're going to be talking to her, and certainly I can be a big help too. But um, the two of us are really the leads on in terms of the administrative part of the team. So we have a question. Will there be some focus on showing the new swimmers some of the strokes? Absolutely. I mean, that is, really the whole point of this whole program is teaching young swimmers, whether they be have swam for a long time or if this is their very first experience with a competitive swim team. It's all about introducing them to the fun aspects of competitive swimming, learning how to do the strokes, learning all those race strategies, and having a lot of fun along the way. So yes, that's a huge part of it. Want to talk about practices a little bit here and the practice schedule. So again, we're fortunate enough to have 2 slots of practices. So we have evening practices at Life Center and morning practices at Waterworks. You'll want to make sure that you check the practice schedule on our team website. It's pretty simple. It's even simpler than it was last year. So everybody, all age groups are going to have an opportunity to swim uh, Monday through Friday, evening or morning. All right. We do divide the practices up by age and ability. Could you go back 1 slide, please?
Oh, yep.
Thank you. Um, so yeah, we do divide up by age and ability, which I'll explain as we go through the practice schedule here. We do not take attendance. Just because this is a more relaxed version of swim team. But what I will say as a coach is the more often that they're there, the better they're going to get faster. I mean, we would love to see them as many practices as they can be at, but also keep in mind just because we have 10 practices a week does not mean that everybody should be showing up for 10 practices a week. Absolutely not. If you can make it to 3 to 4, if you're a first time swimmer, that's going to be plenty, right? So we do rent both of the facilities. So we want to make sure that we're being respectful of each facility's set of rules and, just being kind as we go through and respectful. As we're there, parents and siblings cannot use The pools or the exercise equipment. At Waterworks, there's a sandbox area. All of that stuff is off limits. We, as a program, are paying to use the 6-lane lap pool at both facilities, and that is what we are limited to. Parents are obviously more than welcome to come to practice and sit in the chairs that they have at both facilities, but we are not allowed to use anything else besides the pool that we are renting. And we do need to make sure that we're exiting the facility promptly after practice. In the mornings at Waterworks, there's just a little bit of a buffer between the end of our practice and when they actually open up the whole park for the day. So we need to make sure we're being timely as we're getting out of there. And then also in the evenings at Life Center, and practices are ending at 9 p.m., we want to make sure that everybody can get home at a reasonable time. So just some reminders there with practice etiquette there. So for the practice schedule, we basically we're split up into 3 groups. This first one is our beginners. So our beginner swimmers are 10 and unders that struggle to get across the pool. If there are enough coaches for that day, we're going to have that practice in the diving well at Waterworks, and then we'll have a separate lane for the beginners as well at Life Center in the evenings. And if not, they'll practice with the 8 and under group, but our goal is going to be to have a coach specifically for the beginners for as many practices as possible, if not all of them. And those coaches will be in the water from a safety perspective, will be approaching practice in a little bit. It'll I always equate it to like a bridge between swim lessons and swim team, and then that'll kind of grow and as the kids grow throughout the season. So the next group would be our 10 and unders. So 10 and under swimmers. In the mornings, this is the only place where it gets a little bit complicated. We do have to split up our morning practices for our little ones for a couple reasons. One, we want to make sure that we're being safe and we have an appropriate amount of people, appropriate amount of swimmers in the water. When we start getting above 10 to 12 swimmers in a lane, it can really become an issue. So for the most part, that's what we're going to do. We are going to split so that our 9-10 swim in the first half of the practice, the first 45 minutes, and the 8 and unders will swim in the second half, the 9 to 9:45 in the morning. The other reason is Waterworks can be quite cold in the morning, especially early in the season. And a lot of times, especially the little ones, the 45 minutes is more than they really need anyway. So that's how we do that. And then in the evenings, it's pretty simple. The 10 and unders just have the first hour of practice, 7 to 8 p.m. Now there is a couple caveats here. If you have a 10 and under swimmer that maybe has some more experience in swimming, they've been doing it for a few years and they're pretty talented. They can swim all 4 strokes legally, and they have a 25-yard free time of 20 seconds or faster, or a 25-meter time of 22 seconds or faster. You can talk to the coaches about having them swim in the 11 and over group. That might be a more appropriate practice schedule for them, practice group for them. And then our next group would just be our 11 and overs. So again, pretty simple. The full morning practice, and then the evening practice is 7:45 to 9 p.m. 7:45 because we do offer some dry land workout before we get in the pool, because we really want to make sure that we're maximizing that full 8 to 9 in water time in the evenings. 11 and over swimmers, especially our 11-12s that are new, we may ask you guys to swim with the younger group. It doesn't happen a lot, but we want to make sure that everybody's swimming in a developmentally appropriate practice group as well. Experienced high school swimmers are more than welcome to help with our 10 and unders in and out of the water. So helping with our beginners, or even helping with our normal 7, 8, and 9, 10 groups. So if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. We already got quite a few of them that are interested in helping with that. Next would be what to bring to practices. We're going to make sure that we have appropriate practice suit. So for the boys, ideally we want to have a jammer at some point, which is a jammer or a brief, which is a tighter competition level swimsuit. If they only have swim trunks to this point, that is totally okay. You're just going to find that practice is a little bit tougher with that larger suit that creates more drag. So we recommend getting one of the team suits or an equivalent at some point. Girls, we just make sure that we have a one-piece bathing suit on as well for that. They're going to want to have goggles. If they show up to practice without goggles, they're going to be able to do it, but it's not going to be as an enjoyable experience as it would be with goggles. So please make sure that they have goggles. I believe our team store has some of those this year at a very reasonable price. So consider that. Swim cap, right? Anybody with long hair should probably be wearing a cap to make it a more enjoyable experience. They'll obviously want to have a towel and a water bottle. I really stress, and the rest of the coaches really stress having a water bottle there. So you want to make sure that they have that. If it's sunny out, obviously, be appropriate and make sure that they have sunscreen and are prepared for that. If they're spending a lot of time outside. In terms of swimming equipment, so kickboards, fins, pull buoys, all that stuff. If you have it, bring it. If not, that's okay. We do provide kickboards and pull buoys, so the basics, but having fins is a really, really awesome tool for especially even for the younger kids. I think you can get them on Amazon pretty cheap nowadays. It helps them developmentally, just help with their kick and learning butterfly specifically. There's a lot of good things that we can use for that. It's always a good idea to have them come in tennis shoes, exercise shoes, especially the 11 and overs for dry land. It's tough to do dry land when we have people come in and they wore flip-flops or whatever. We want to make sure that they're being safe with that. And then finally, warm clothes on the cool days, especially in the mornings. And then the later evening practices, it can get quite cold, and if they're in a wet swimsuit, they're going to want to have a hoodie and things like that. So see if we got a question.
Okay, so the practice locations, like Will said, that there's a couple of different places that we practice. In the mornings, we're at Waterworks. You can see the address there. When you arrive at Waterworks, you're not going to go into the main entrance. You're actually going to go into the gate that's over there by the supply building. It's kind of right by the street. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, don't worry. There'll be a bunch of cars parked there when you get there, and you'll see the gates open, hopefully, and a bunch of kids in swimsuits. So you'll figure it out. The locker rooms are available, but like Will said, you can't linger in there. They'll get upset. If you need to shower and things like that, it's probably better just to go ahead and do it at home. If you're a member there and you want to stay, you're more than welcome to, but you do have to exit the facility and re-enter with the rest of the people that are not on swim team. You have to go through the main entrance. Life Center, that's our evening practices. It's over there in Hudson. Those practices begin a week before the Waterworks practices begin. That's also where our meets are going to be held for the dual meets when we're at home. Again, you're going to use the back entrance. There's a big parking lot back there, and you'll use the back entrance to get there. You don't want to go into the main building. Locker rooms are available, but they close them up pretty quickly. So again, if you need a shower and things like that, and you're in that later practice, you should probably just shower at home. We have lots of fun as Waves. There are 3 different things that we do. We try to do most of them most weeks. First, Waffle Wednesdays. We're famous for our waffles. Morning practices on Wednesdays, weather permitting. I will be not there coaching because I will be in my kitchen making waffles. I will get there just in the nick of time for your kids to have some waffles. They'll get a waffle. You guys will bring the toppings. Usually these things end up looking like giant banana splits or something like that instead of just a waffle, because people bring things like whipped cream, chocolate sauce, fruit. People have brought chicken before, watermelon, strawberries, cereal, candy, you name it. The kids love putting it on their waffles. The team will supply the waffles, the forks, and the plates. I will not supply napkins, and I would prefer you not bring napkins. I know it sounds weird because your kids are going to get messy, But the problem is that those the napkins start blowing around, get in the pool, and then I spend, half an hour after the Waffle Wednesday trying to pick up all the napkins so we don't get in trouble with the pool. So what's a better bet is to bring some napkins, leave it, or paper towels or baby wipes or whatever, and leave them in your car. But we can't have a bunch of napkins flying around waterworks. For those of you who go to the evening practices, we have Tasty Tuesdays. We usually bring some sort of dessert-like treat, popsicles, ice cream, cookies, things like that. And after the Tuesday practices, the kids will get a treat. If you have a dietary restriction, please let me know through email or something like that, and I will do my best to accommodate you. That includes the waffles. And last year we had a swimmer who was gluten-free, and I didn't know until later, and I felt bad. I can make gluten-free waffles, but if I'm making you gluten-free waffles, please just give me a heads up if you're not planning to go, because it does take a little bit of extra effort, and then if they're just sitting there and I have to throw them away, then it's a bit of a bummer. But I'm more than happy to do that if you're going to be there. Fun Fridays. We don't do Fun Fridays every single Friday, but when there's something fun to celebrate toward the end of practice, we will do things like fun relays or sharks and minnows or some sort of game. If your child doesn't like playing the games, we've had a few kids who are like, oh, the games are too much work. They don't have to stay. You can always take them home. Speaking of, sometimes swimming isn't totally fun. The weather in Ohio often is not always cooperative. For some reason, we get really hot at around Memorial Day, and then Mother Nature realizes swim practice starts, and then they give us 50-degree mornings. So sometimes we need to cancel practice due to storms, low temperatures, or things like that. Even if we don't cancel, if you know that it's too cold for your child to swim, feel free to not bring them. I don't like seeing kids turning blue, shivering, and being miserable. We want them to be happy. If you have a really tiny kid who Coach Will used to turn blue all the time when he was little, so I know what it's like to have one of those little kids who is miserable. You don't have to come to practice if they're not going to be happy at practice. If we need to cancel practice, we will email it out. We will post it on social media. We'll try to get it up on the website. Please do not text me, email me, send up smoke signals trying to get my attention, asking me if practice is canceled. If you haven't heard yet, then no, practice is not canceled. I will tell you as soon as I know. If I have, 125 kid team all asking me if practice is canceled, I spend all of my time telling you yes or no. And, the other problem is I could tell you, yeah, we're having practice, and then 10 minutes later, the skies could open up and then we don't have practice, and now you have the wrong information. So just keep an eye on your email, keep an eye on the social media, and I will post it as soon as we know. If the storm starts during practice, if it starts storming by you, please head back to practice, because we're probably going to have to send your child home. We will not leave them there, obviously. We will stay with them, but the sooner they can get picked up, the safer everyone will be. Team merchandise. We offer several things for team merchandise. The first thing is every swimmer will get a t-shirt as part of the registration. So you don't have to order your kids t-shirt separately. You will automatically get one. Caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and discounted items from last season are available. The stuff for this year, you need to order it by tomorrow on the team website. After that, you may not be able to get it. Every year we have people who are like, oh, the hoodies are so cute, can we get one? And we'll have a few extras, but not very many. We usually order just around the number that people order. So if you want one, order it by tomorrow. Make sure you pick your items up if you do order them, because I end up carrying around, 4 or 5 very heavy boxes of things, hoping that people will come pick their stuff up. And there have been years that people have ordered things and they literally have never picked them up. So I want to make sure that you get your stuff, and I want you to make sure you get it in a timely fashion. So when it's available, I will post again in email, social media, and let you know that you can come pick it up at practice. So please make sure you do that. These are the things that we're offering for this season. We've got the orange hoodies, the blue t-shirts, and the swim caps. If you're gonna wear a cap, we would prefer that you wear a wave swim cap. They're not very expensive. and it helps make us look like a team. If you want a cap with your child's name on it, you can get them personalized in packages of 2, but those again have to be ordered by tomorrow because we have to put that order in relatively quickly so that the manufacturer has time to print those up. We will have plain caps without names on them available throughout the season. For our swimsuits, these are the team suits. If you don't want to buy a team suit, it's not the end of the world. Just wear a blue suit. But if you want a team suit, we chose ones this year through Swim Outlet that are pretty affordable. You can go to Swim Outlet and order them. They will be shipped directly to your house. They tell me that if you order them by the 29th, they should be here by the first meet. But I personally have trust issues, so I'm not going to trust that 100%. The sooner you order them, the more likely it is you will have them when you want them. You can find that link on our website. They'll be shipped directly to your house. I have nothing to do with it other than, we provide the link to you. If you've got an issue with your suit, they send you the wrong size or your decal's coming off or something like that, you'll want to contact Swim Outlet. In the past, we've always used Aquatic Outfitters for our team suits. Unfortunately, they closed, so this is our first go around with Swim Outlet, and I've heard good things, so hopefully it will work out well. I did hear from a few people that there were some sizes unavailable, and I called Swim Outlet today, and they said that they were gonna post some youth size options that will make them available. I got a question that says they will not print logos on youth sizes. I had not heard that, but I will check on that because that doesn't sound like what we set up. So I'll look into it and let you guys know. Communication. Oh, one other thing about swimsuits, I almost forgot. Don't wear your swimsuits to practice. The swimsuits that you buy for the team suits, those should only be worn at meets. They wear out much too quickly if you wear them for every practice, and you want those suits to stay in good shape so that the kids can be as fast as possible when they're at the meets. If you're looking for some inexpensive practice suits, you can order those on Swim Outlet. I know that they have some, like the Sporty brand, are pretty inexpensive. I get those for my kids sometimes. Aquatic Outfitters has a going out of business sale down in North Canton, and last I heard their swimsuits were 60% off, so that might be another good option.
I just wanted to chime in on suits real quick too, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Regarding tech suits or fast suits, for our team, our policy is when it comes to our dual meets and our anything that's not championships, we do not wear those. It's a waste of a use of one of those suits, in my opinion. But when championships rolls around, if you have a fast suit or a tech suit that you want to wear, by all means, we want to swim fast at that meet. So go for it. But I just wanted to make sure that we're all clear on that. By no means are fast suits required in any way, but if you have them and you want to wear them, championships only. Thanks.
Yes, that's a very good point. So our communication, I know that already you're probably tired of hearing us talk. Don't worry, we're just trying to give you an overview of everything so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. Please don't feel overwhelmed by everything that we're saying. We do communicate. We will be sending things out as you need to know them, but your end of the deal is you actually have to read the stuff that we post and or send out. About at least once a week, we will send out an email detailing everything you need to know for the next few days. Please keep an eye out for those emails. If I've already sent one today, if you didn't get it, please let me know. Sometimes there's issues with, maybe I had a typo or something like that. I could check on it for you. Also check your spam and promotions folders. Our emails tend to like to get stuck into those places, but it's super important that you read the emails. And then if you have questions after you read the email, go ahead and reply to the email and I will do my best to help you out. We also will post reminders on Facebook. Facebook isn't required, but it is helpful. And we also sometimes post, pictures and things like that on there. It's kind of fun to see. if you're going to post on Facebook, there are a few things to keep in mind. There are appropriate questions and not so good questions. If you're going to ask a question that has a specific answer, like what time is warm-ups, or what's the address for the meet, or something like that, please email us or ask us at practice or something like that. You don't want to post those things on Facebook because swim families are very helpful, but they don't always give the accurate information. And the last thing we want is for some well-meaning person to accidentally give the wrong information, and then we have conflicting information circling in the team. So if you post a question like that, it's going to get deleted, and we'll ask you just to go ahead and email it to us. If you want to ask a question like that is an opinion, like, where can I get an inexpensive suit, or how can I help my kid wash the chlorine out of their hair? Sure, you could post those kind of things. You're welcome to share pictures. Instagram, Coach Will and some of the other coaches post a lot of fun things on Instagram. If you don't want your child's picture posted on social media, please let us know, and we will do our best to make sure that that doesn't happen. We also have mailboxes that we bring to each practice, or at least most of the practices, and to the meets. Each family will have a file folder in there, and that is where you will get your ribbons. If you order caps, I'll put the caps in there. If you order goggles, I'll put your goggles in there. Probably not your t-shirts and sweatshirts, because that's not going to fit, but anything that you need that can fit into a file folder will be in there. Please make sure that you check them periodically. Every year at the end of the season, I have a few folders that have clearly never been checked, and then they have a big bag of stuff to pick up later. If you forgot to fill out your Lindsay's Law form with your registration form, I'll have some of those on the first day of practice in the board's file, which is the first one in each box. Please fill those out and just put them back in there, because the law requires that we have those forms for you. We will also be putting your raffle tickets in there, more on the raffle in a few minutes. Team pictures will be on June 12th. Lindsay McGinnis is going to be doing those pictures again for us. She's done a good job the last few years. She's really good at not only taking serious pictures, but also taking some goofy pictures. You can see my son Lex right there being kind of goofy, which is fun. I believe she does online orders now, but we will get that link out to you in a time sensitive type situation. Fundraising. So why do we fundraise? You're already paying, a good chunk of money to be on the team. Well, we try to keep that fee pretty as low as possible because we fundraise. We don't have any sponsors outside of our own team. Waterworks and Life Center do not give us anything. The city does not give us anything. In fact, we pay quite a bit of money for the privilege to use those pools. Every minute that we're in the pool, we are paying them money. We fundraise so that we can cover some of those expenses, as well as the coaching and things like that, so that we don't want to make our prices so high that the kids can't swim. You'd be shocked at how much some swim teams cost. Where does the money go? Well, 100% of the fundraising money goes right back into the budget to spend on the kids. Not only does it keep registration fees low, but we also do the t-shirts, the awards banquet, the coaching, the Waffle Wednesday stuff, the Tasty Tuesday stuff. We do Swimmer of the Meet awards and all sorts of things throughout the season. So we appreciate people taking part in our fundraising. So the first fundraiser that we do is a raffle. We ask that each family sell a minimum of 10 $5 tickets. You can buy them for yourself. You can sell them to grandma and grandpa, whatever you want to do. At the end of the season, at the banquet, we will draw a ticket. The person who sells the grand prize ticket will get 50% off of their most expensive registration next season. And then the other prizes are, the $200 and the $100 prizes. 100% of those proceeds go back to our team. Like I said, any family that sells their allotted 10 tickets the kids will be recognized at the award ceremony with a little trinket of our appreciation. Last year, they got team cups with some candy and treats in them. I'm not 100% sure what we're doing this year, but it will be something similar. We also do a car wash. We haven't set the date yet because the timing of everything is a little bit complicated, but we will figure that out. We usually do the car wash in the back of Life Center. And the kids usually have a really fun time doing it. So some of the ways that you can help work a shift, whether the kids or we need some adults too. You can help us make some big signs to advertise, bring towels, car washing equipment. You can come get your car washed. The kids love to wash the cars. It's the only time I ever see kids excited to clean something. So that's fun to watch too. You could also encourage your friends and relatives to come get get their car washed. And if nothing else, just post it on social media to encourage your friends to come over. So now that we've gone over all the practices and all the financial things, now it's down to the competition. You would be surprised how many people don't realize that you're actually supposed to compete on a swim team. It is a swim team, not a get together and play in the pool club. So number one thing is all swimmers are expected to participate in the swim meets. Swimmers who do not participate in any meets whatsoever will not be invited back to the team next year. Those of us who are participating, you'll want to enter by the entry deadline. That information on how you enter swim meets will be sent out, as the season gets started. But the big important thing is it's really important to get your entries in by the entry deadline. The coaches don't have time to track down 150 kids to figure out if they're going to the meet or not. So we rely on you to let us know if you'll be attending or not. We will have 4 dual meets this season, 2 at home, 2 away. And we're also planning to do a blue and orange inter squad meet, which should be fun. And then we'll also have a championship meet. Sportsmanship at all of our meets is our top priority for both swimmers and parents. And I include parents here because I have seen some parents not be very sporting, and we need to set good examples for our children. And while we enjoy winning, that is not the number one thing. Teaching our swimmers to be good sports is our number one priority. Our championship meet, it's a little bit different this year. Usually we have our championship meet at the University of Akron. The University of Akron is not available this year. So a fun little change is we will be going to Cleveland State University this year instead, which is also an amazing facility. It actually has a little bit more room, in my opinion, and a little bit more deck space for the kids. So it's not a bad thing. You will have to drive a little bit more, but not too bad. Everyone should plan to attend championships. A lot of people don't realize that we really need you to attend championships. So please mark it on your calendar. Mark it on your calendar and plan to come. The only requirement for participation is you need to have participated in at least 2 dual meets. It doesn't matter how fast you swim. As long as you can get across the pool without assistance, you can swim at championships. Why should you go? Well, this is what the kids work for all season. This is the opportunity where they will most likely be the fastest. They're going to be swimming in a college level pool. Their names will be in lights on the scoreboard. They'll get the opportunity to see how fast they can be and to see all of their hard work pay off. And I know it might sound a little bit intimidating to the new people, but the meet is actually really a lot of fun. And I wouldn't want your kids to miss out on that opportunity.
And I want to chime in on that too. Yeah, championships is something that is really the most fun part of the whole season, in my opinion. It's something that almost every single swimmer sees best times at that meet, and to watch it all come to fruition over the course of the season on that one day is really fun. The reason that I'm chiming in on this, though, because I have to be a little bit negative, I wanted to say it last year, but I think it's important to say it now. Our attendance when I first started about 8 years ago at this meet was phenomenal. We were at about 95% attendance at the championship meet of our whole roster. And then as we went for a few years, it kind of maintained in that 80 to 90% range. 2021, we had 74% of the team participate. 2022, we had 71% participate. Last year, we only had 56% of the team participate at championships. It was something that was quite frustrating to see. And it's certainly not about winning, right? That's not why I'm bringing this up. However, if we have the biggest team in the league, which, you know, we are on track to have that again, we should certainly be putting ourselves in a position to be there, right? And to be able to compete to, you know, win championships. But we can only do that if we have our team show up. And again, it's not about the winning, it's about the kids being there and seeing that for the fruition of their labor and their efforts throughout, you know, the 6 or 7 weeks of the season. But I would be remiss if I didn't say something about that. I'm not sure what happened last year, and I know with it being at Cleveland State this year, it's a little bit farther of a drive, but I think it's honestly a better pool. And it'll be a really fun experience for them. So I just really wanted to echo that sentiment as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Will. And I want to echo what he said. It really isn't about winning. We spent a lot of years with our team where we didn't win and we had just as much fun. But, you know, if we show up, we will have a good chance to win. And showing up is an important lesson for your kids too. And this meet will be very different than the dual meets. It'll be run more like what you see, you know, college level, high school level, club level, Olympic level, you know, where the kids get to see multiple heats and they get to see really fast swimmers and really not fast swimmers. They'll have a lot of good opportunities. And like I said, I don't want them to miss out on that. Meet sign up, like I said, you'll be emailed out the information on how to sign up. It's an online sign up. We will have a video for you to see on how to sign up. If you have any trouble with it, let me know early so I can help you out. If you wait till, you know, 10 minutes before the deadline and I'm already in bed, there's not much I can do for you. When you sign up for every meet in this league, the coaches will choose your events for you. So you don't need to worry about that. So when you do sign up, it will just be a yes or no. Are you attending? Or are you not attending? Volunteers. Swimming is a unique sport. Unlike things like, you know, soccer and baseball, where you just need a few people to help the kids out, we need a lot of people to run swim meets. So everybody's going to be expected to help out, whether it's for timing or helping the kids get behind the blocks, runners to get times to the scores table, clerk of course, announcers. We need all sorts of help. None of the jobs are particularly difficult, but they do need to get done. So we expect everybody to sign up for at least one meet. If you don't know how to do the job, we have lots of experienced people there that will teach you how to do it. There is several benefits of helping out as well. One, your kids get to see that you value what they're doing. 2, you help make sure that we're running an efficient meet so that we can all get home in a timely manner. And 3, you get to learn about the sport. I didn't know anything about swimming when my kids first started swimming. In fact, I had gone to one high school meet and we left halfway through thinking, what the heck is this? Now I run leagues. I'm the president of a league. I'm a coach. I do all sorts of things because I started volunteering when my kids were little. So you'll learn a lot about the sport by helping out. There will be a link on the website where you can sign up for your volunteer opportunities. Anybody who volunteers more than once will get entered into an end of the season raffle where you can win all sorts of, you know, fabulous prizes. One thing that we're changing this year to try to make life easier for both our volunteers and for our kids, we will have 10 and under tents. When it is when it's getting close to your child's event, you will send them to either the boy tent or the girl tent. And then we will have volunteers under when I say tents, I mean canopies. We will have parent volunteers there that will help your kid get to the clerical course, and then the clerical course will help your kid get to their event. It will be your responsibility to make sure that your child gets to the tent when they're supposed to. This year, we will not have age group coordinators running all around the deck like crazy people trying to track down kids who are not necessarily paying attention. That was a very difficult job, so we're trying to make that job easier and less stressful for our volunteers. And it will also be less stressful for the kids because they'll know where they're supposed to go and they get there. If you're volunteering, whoever is watching your child should be, the one to get them to the tent. If both parents are volunteering or you don't have a second parent available there, let us know, or find another parent on the deck that you've gotten to know, and have them help your kid get to the tent. But it's important, like I said, that we will not have volunteers running around the deck tracking everybody down this year. A big question that we always get, fortunately, we don't have as much illness in the summer as we do in the winter, but what do you do if your kid gets sick? Well, if for practices, you just stay home and get well. If it's COVID, listen to your doctor, come back when he says that it's appropriate. You don't really need to notify the coaches about missing practice unless there's something serious going on. Or you want to let us know that it's something super contagious that the other swimmers might want to, watch out for, strep throat, COVID, things like that. Or if you've broken your leg and you're not coming back, then of course we want to know that. But if you have a cold or something, there's no need to let us know. We'll just hope to see you soon. If you are already signed up for a meet and your kid gets sick, email me or Coach Will as soon as you know, so that we can make the appropriate changes in the lineup. The one thing you do not want to do is parents will occasionally post it on Facebook, expecting the coaches to be able to see it before a meet, and we're not checking Facebook while we're trying to run a meet. So you're more likely to get our attention if you email us. The end of the season awards banquet. We always have a nice little party at the end of the season. Lately, the last few years, we've been doing it indoors, so it's air conditioned, which I like a lot. We'll feed you, and then we'll give the kids some awards. This is old. Usually, we used to have a potluck. I'm not sure if that's happening this year. Last year, we did not have a potluck. This is also where our raffles will be awarded. If you're unable to attend, it will be your responsibility to pick up your awards. I will have bags of awards for your kids. I will put them in bins on my porch. I'll give you my address. I still have a half a bin of awards that never got picked up last year. I had the bin out until I put my Christmas decorations up. So please make sure that you pick these things up. Your kids deserve to get the awards that they've earned. All right. Please feel free to let us know what questions you have by go ahead and typing those in. Do you have anything else to add, Will?
No, I think we covered it, but yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Abby, why don't you can you email that to us, and we can go over that with you through email, so that we can Coach Will and I can give you some more detailed information that way. Thanks. And Doug, I'm glad you like the idea. I'm really hoping the tents work out. All right, well, we will call it a day. If a question pops up into your head later, feel free to email me. I'm more than happy to answer questions. It might take me a day or two to get through it though, because the last week or so, my email has been being well, I guess the younger people say it's blowing up. My email is blowing up, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. Feel free to email me. Thanks for coming to our meeting. We look forward to seeing you next week.